Today, we're diving into a fascinating lost manuscript that makes a pretty wild claim that a secret about our future is hidden in our most ordinary everyday actions. It's all about the will, that mysterious part of our consciousness that actually gets things done. Let's get into it.
So, to get to the heart of this, let's just start with a super simple question you can test for yourself right now. You think, okay, I'm going to lift my arm, and then, poof, your arm lifts. But what happens in that little gap? What's the actual process that turns a thought into an action? I mean, if you really look closely, you'll find there's nothing there.
And this brings us right to the manuscript's most startling claim. The text argues that the engine behind everything we do, the very force of our will, operates in a place that our consciousness just can't see. It's a complete and total blind spot.
So what does it really mean to live with this darkness in a deed? Let's unpack how this invisible force actually shapes our entire experience of life.
The text has a name for this whole concept, the sleeping will. Just think about that. It's suggesting that even right now, when you feel wide awake, listening to this, the part of you that acts in the world is totally unconscious. In a very real way, we're basically sleepwalking through our own lives. Okay, this slide reveals a really fascinating paradox. Look at that top row. In our day-to-day experience, thinking feels super active, right? We're wrestling with ideas. Willing, on the other hand, feels passive. It just kind of happens. But the manuscript says the reality is the complete opposite. Look at the bottom row. In reality, thinking is receptive. We don't create ideas, we just find them. But our will, it's profoundly creative. Every single action we take adds something brand new to the world. And this metaphor just perfectly illustrates the consequence of that. If our creative power, our will, is unconscious, it means we are constantly shaping reality. We're shaping our lives, our relationships, our world, all without having any real idea of what we're actually building.
Now, this isn't just some personal psychological quirk. The manuscript argues that this is the root cause of a massive, collective crisis that we're all living through.
So, the text claims that in our modern world, humanity's willpower is just surging forward. It's getting more and more powerful. But our consciousness, our wisdom, it's not keeping up. So we have this immense power to act and create, but it's all happening without any real moral compass or foresight.
And you can see the results of this everywhere, right? This raw, unconscious power shows up as technology that's moving way faster than our ability to control it, ecological damage we just can't seem to get a handle on, and all the social and political chaos that's driven by these unconscious impulses.
This quote from the manuscript really just sums it all up, doesn't it? We have the power to split atoms, to reshape the entire planet, but we don't have the inner awareness to direct that incredible power wisely.
So if that's the problem, what's the solution? Is there a way out of this? How do we cross this threshold from just unconsciously doing things to consciously acting?
Well, the manuscript proposes this really profound next step for our evolution. We have to learn to wake up in the act itself. The goal is to take the kind of clarity we have in our best thinking and bring it down into the dark, hidden process of our actions.
To do this, we kind of have to understand that we have two selves. There's our normal, everyday ego, the I we think of that has thoughts and feelings. But behind that, the manuscript says, is a true I. This is a higher, deeper self that's the real source of our will.
So the work of waking up the will isn't about destroying our ego or getting rid of it. It's about making it transparent. It's like you're just cleaning a dirty window pane so that the light of our higher, true I can finally shine through our actions into the world. Now, I know this might all be sounding incredibly abstract, but the manuscript doesn't just leave us there. It offers a really concrete, practical way to start this work in your own life. And it's not framed as a belief system you have to adopt. It's presented as a personal experiment, a research method you can use on your own consciousness to see for yourself if this whole sleeping will thing is actually real.
Let's just walk through the steps here. First, you choose a really simple daily action, something you do all the time without thinking, like opening a door. Second, for 1 week, try to perform that one single action with your full attention. Don't analyze it, just be in it. Third, you try to sense the impulse. Can you feel the intention flowing from your core into your arm and hand? And finally, persist. The manuscript is clear. This is really hard. But if you stick with it, you'll start to notice these little flickers of a totally new kind of awareness in your actions.
So what's the point of this weird little exercise? Well, the immediate goal is to develop a new kind of self-awareness. It's about learning to feel the difference between an action that's just a blind robotic habit and one that flows from a truly conscious, intentional center, from that true I we were just talking about.
And this simple, personal practice, it connects directly back to all those massive global challenges we mentioned earlier. And this is maybe the most audacious claim in the entire manuscript, that this quiet inner work of waking up inside our own will isn't just a nice form of self-help, it's the only real solution to our collective crises. Because the future isn't some abstract thing that just happens to us, right? It's being actively built, moment by moment, through the quality of our actions. Every unconscious act adds a little bit to the chaos. Every conscious one adds a little bit to a more harmonized world.
The logic is pretty simple. It scales up. When you bring real consciousness into your actions, you automatically change how you relate to other people. You change the quality of your work. And if enough people start doing this, you can actually shift the entire direction of our culture.
And so that leaves us with a final, really provocative question. What about the very next thing you do? After this explainer ends, when you close this tab or pick up your phone or get up from your chair, will that action be just another moment of sleepwalking? Or could it be the very first moment of an awakening?